now let's talk about the collar chokes, all right? We're gonna do 3 variations. We're gonna do a double up palm choke, cross collar choke. So we're gonna have both palms up. One version is gonna be 1 palm up, 1 palm down. And then we're gonna do a baseball choke, okay? So let's start off with the double palm up cross collar choke, all right? So I'm gonna start by loosening up his gi a little bit, all right? If he's got a really, really tight gi, it's gonna be hard for me to really get my hand deep into the collar, okay? So I wanna use one hand on the same side collar, and I wanna kind of open it up a little bit, create some slack, okay? Now 4 fingers in, going across the neck, okay? Not the same side right now. I'm going across the neck, 4 fingers in, right here, okay? I wanna do as best I can at rotating my wrist so that this little bone, contour right here in my wrist fits right along his neck. I don't wanna grab just like this, where my fist is pointing like that, where the back of my hand is on his throat. That's not what I want. I want this blade of my wrist in his throat. So as I weave it through, see how I rotate my shoulder so that I can really turn my thumb back this way. Boom. And then I make a good grip right there. Nice solid grip. The deeper I can make this initial grip, the better chance I have at actually finishing the choke. If it's weak here and it's weak here, it's gonna be just wasting of time. Okay, so this one, I really wanna work to get a good grab, okay? From here, again, I have a compromised base, right? So it's very likely that he can bump and roll me off that way. Yeah, maybe I can post with my hand there, right? Maybe I can, but a lot of times what I want to do is I want to just kind of shift my weight to my left a little bit, right? Notice how I'm using this elbow to kind of like pin his chest down, all right? This is just kind of helping me off-center my base. That way it's not so easy for him to throw me off that way. All right, and again, this is another cooking position. So I got this nice collar choke. He's bumping, he's moving. I'm trying to base out. Yes, I'm trying to base out. Perfect. All right, now when I feel like the time is ready, relax. When the time is ready, I'm going to use this elbow, and I want to try to work to open his chin. All right, it's just making a little bit of space for me to be able to bring my second palm. Again, palm up, 4 fingers in, and grab the collar right here. I want to make sure that his chin is on top of my wrists. Drop your chin. I don't want this. Okay, this is going to be harder for me to finish, okay? So I need to make sure that I keep his chin exposed. That's why when I'm here, I use my elbow to kind of lift his chin up. Now when I'm here, I bring my elbows down together, and now there's no way he's getting his chin down from here, okay? So real simple. All I'm thinking about is doing like a really strong row, all right? So elbows come together. First thing I'm doing is I'm gonna pull my chest, hold my chest down to my hands, right from here. And now once I'm gonna continue that pulling motion, I wanna expand my chest. So once I get to here, I'm gonna continue to pull and expand my chest, and I hold that for a good tap. Okay, make sure you're really holding that squeeze for at least a few seconds, okay? You gotta hold it, 4, 5, 6 seconds if you really wanna have effective choke, okay? If they don't tap, they're usually gonna go to sleep, all right? But let's make sure that we all tap. Okay, if you're holding it for 4, 5, 6 seconds, and the person not tapping, you're probably not really deep enough on this first collar, okay? So again, we've already done our mount retention. Make some slack. I bring my hand down. Notice how it's right up against his neck. I don't want to grab here, right? I'm really deep on the collar, but there's no connection. So I continue to follow his collar until my wrist makes connection with his neck, okay? I'm rotating mount, I'm right? Maintaining, open the chin. Other hand comes underneath my own wrist, and I find my second grip. I'm making sure that I have a good firm grip, right? I'm really squeezing my hands, all right? First, my chest comes down, and then from here, I'm pulling my elbows back to my ribs like this. Once I get here, I expand my chest. You see how that space between my wrists gets a little bit smaller every time? Every time, that's the space where his neck is. So that's the constriction that we're talking about. Boom, we're here, I base out, I base, open the jaw, slide my 4 fingers in, get a nice solid grip, chest comes down, and then right from here, I get a good chest expansion, and I get the tap, okay? Yeah, they suck, all right? Boom. My game is generally revolved around not using the collars and the lapels and the sleeves, okay, but they are very effective, and if you can develop your game to where you can collar choke people every time you get to them out, it's classic Hydra Gracie, all right? He took somebody down, passed their guard, mounted them, cross collar choke at the highest level, okay? So they are very effective, having a good understanding of maintaining good base on top, and then knowing how to just apply a good cross collar choke, very effective. Okay, so again, one more time. You can practice both sides initially, right? Initially you start with your left hand, maybe initially you start with your right hand. You feel which one you like the most, okay? I like this one here. Boom, boom, right here. And I get the choke. Okay? Questions? Okay, let's give it a shot. Okay, cool. All right, so that's the cross collar choke with palm up. Double palm up, cross collar choke, okay? Double palm up, cross collar choke, okay? So again, everything that I show, remember, everything that I show in the mount can also be done in the full guard, okay? So if I get my initial good cross collar choke, if I get here and I get my good initial grip and I get my initial grip right here and I start the choke and he starts to bump me over, I just maintain the position and I can still finish it from the full guard, okay? It's a little easier to finish from full mount because I have gravity on my side, okay? He can start to posture up a little bit when I'm doing it off my back, but the effectiveness doesn't really change, okay? So if you get a good cross collar choke and you feel like you're getting bumped off, you can take the chance and just keep the cross collar choke and try to finish it. You don't necessarily have to let go of one collar, post, maintain the mount. That's another option. You can do it for sure. But if you know that you have a solid grip on that cross collar choke and he starts to bump you over and come up on top, man, you just keep it and you squeeze, you hold it. Okay? Cool. Now we're gonna come a time where it's gonna be hard for me to get my arm underneath. Okay, maybe he's blocking it, okay? Maybe he's doing a really good job of continuing to bump me that way, so I'm constantly having to post, right? Every time I get my first grip right here, and he's constantly bumping me this way, so I'm constantly posting. Every time I square back up to go, he's bumping me again. He's bumping me again, right? Okay, so I don't want to come underneath here, right? I'm just wasting my time. Okay, so now this is what we're gonna do, is we're gonna do a cross collar choke. We're gonna have one palm down. Okay, so now this hand is gonna come over top of my initial grip, okay? So here's how I do it. As he bumps, I'm gonna post. Now, instead of just coming back to square, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna use my hand across his face, okay? It's gonna make him turn and look to the side of the initial grip, all right? If somebody's face is turning one way, it's hard for them to bridge in the other direction, okay? Notice when Rachi wants to bridge me that way, go ahead, bridge me. He wants to look in that direction. It's just putting his spine in good alignment. Okay, so if I can turn his face this way, it's hard for the person to bridge to the left, in this case, his left. Okay? So after I get my initial grip right here, and he's bumping me over, I post, and I use my hand, my elbow, to turn his face away. Then from here, I'm going to find this little scruff of the gi. A lot of times it's going to be there. There's a little bit of like the wrinkle on top of the shoulder right there. If the guy has a really, really tight gi, it's going to be harder to find, but a lot of times it's there. Okay, so again, we're here. He bumps that way, I post. I come back and I use my elbow to make his face look away. And then from here, I'm going to just find that scruff right there, right? Make a good firm grip and nothing changes. All right, head comes down, and I get my choke. I was waiting for a tap. I heard a snap. I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's a tap. Okay? All right, so it's just another variation, a really good one because he's always trying to bump me that way. So every time I try to come this way, he bumps me again. So I just keep my hand here, and then instead of coming back, I'm just going to use my elbow to turn his face and then find a good grip on his shoulder right here. This little scruff right here. You can do it by putting your thumb in the lapel and doing it too. All right, that's another variation. So when you're here, after you bump, you drive your face, you put your thumb in the lapel, but a lot of times it's really, really tight. It's hard to find that thumb and grip. So I just like to grab the scruff of the shoulder right there. Okay? So again, we're here, all right? Boom, I get my first grip, he's bumping me that way. Boom. I come back, elbow to his face. Make him look away. Slap his shoulder, and then just find something. All right? Don't be afraid to like really grab, right? If you're just like, you don't want to, it's like you're trying to pinch the person, right? You get here and you just grab and then you just find whatever material. Yeah. a lot of times you're going to pinch the person. But, okay, you know what I mean? That's like, you can't like, just like, oh, I don't have enough grip. Just grab and bring your fingers together and you're going to find some kind of material. Maybe you pinch maybe you get a little skin in the game, but that's okay. So we're here, elbow comes back, I grab the shoulder, find good material, elbows come together, bring my head down, and expand my chest. Right here, elbows come together. Don't bring your elbows apart, right? This is a misconception. I think I gotta drive my forearm into his neck. It's a different kind of choke. So we're here, whether it's double palm up or one down, elbows come together, right? It's closing that space off where his neck is. And then as I get here, I'm gonna continue to expand my chest, and that's what finishes the choke.
They're literally scissors.
Yeah, okay, exactly, little scissors, exactly. Okay, any questions? So let's give this one a shot.
Could you do these on clothes?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just 'cause you got
Polo, any kind of button-up collar. I mean, a lot of times when I go for that cross collar choke where I have one palm up, one palm down, sometimes he's gonna use one of his hands to stop that second hand from finding the grip, okay? So got you. So now, remember, anytime somebody reaches to stop something, usually they're exposing their elbows, okay? So if I get my first grip right here, right? Nice, good grip. Get my slack if I need to, okay? I'm starting to go here, right? He's gonna start using his right hand to stop this. Yeah, you see that right there? That's what I want to see, all right? And again, maybe he gets away with it, maybe not. But a lot of times when they start to reach, look at his elbow. Look how it comes away from his rib, right? Before it was here protecting his mount position. But when I'm here, now he's reaching. Look, I'm gonna use that to start to rotate to modified mount. So I put all my weight on my hands and I start to rotate. And now look, his elbow is exposed. Now I cut the foot through, and now I'm in a perfect position to attack the armbar. Okay, I still have the collar. I lean on him, okay, and I'm here, and then I'm in a perfect position to sit back. I still have the collar. I can keep it, or I can let it go at the last second and hit a nice solid armbar. Okay. So a lot of times you can use the collar chokes just to set up a nice modified mount to an armbar transition, or to the back. Okay. Again, Hodger Gracie was famous for this. Right here, I'm trying to go here. He's blocking. He's blocking. He's blocking. Boom. Right here. Leg comes up, cuts through, and then I lean all my body weight on him. Okay? If they try to bring this elbow back down to the floor, I'm right there for the collar choke again. Right? So when he defends one, I have a follow-up attack. When he defends a follow-up attack, I go right back to the choke. And you can go back and forth, back and forth. The big thing is that I'm not letting go of my initial collar. Right? That initial collar is that most important one. So during this whole transition of modified mount, armbar to collar choke, as long as I keep this nice and deep, I can constantly go back to that collar choke when it opens itself up. Okay? But it's a cool little variation, a little follow-up, because a lot of times they're going to get here, they're going to like, oh crap, he got that first grip, I can't let him get this, so they're going to defend that one like, boom, from here. Back, and then I can let go of the collar once I know I'm committing to the armbar. Okay, but if I'm not sure yet about committing to the armbar, I keep a nice deep collar grip initially so that I can always go back to that if I want to. Okay, so it's just a little cool follow-up from that position. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the baseball choke. Okay, baseball grip. Right. So now we're not going across initially. We're not crossing our hands initially. Right now we're keeping our hands on the same side of the person's body. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go thumb in one side. So thumb in, grip one side. Again, keeping the blades of my finger facing, or blades of my wrist facing the person. So I'm not grabbing like this. Right? Again, this soft part, no good. So I'm going thumb in, keeping my fist straight so that the blade of my wrist is on his neck. And in this one, the same idea. Now I'm rotating this hand out like this. So the blade is on the neck, blade is on the neck. Here. Okay, again, nice, good connection with his neck. And I got a good grip on the lapel right here. Now from here, I need to create an angle because I don't have any kind of, like there's no cross right yet. Right? So from here, I need to dismount. So I'm gonna balance on my knuckles, because my knuckles are on the ground. So I'm gonna balance on my knuckles and I'm gonna dismount. Okay? When I dismount, I wanna make sure that I kick my butt to my heels so that I avoid his guard. Okay? If I just try to dismount by stepping back like this, maybe he catches me in half guard. Okay, so when I dismount, my heels come to my butt, and now I'm here. Okay, now I'm in like a good knee to belly position. All right from here, I'm gonna rotate, I'm gonna go north-south, and here's the X. Once I go north-south is where I act my wrists cross and I create the choke. I wanna stay on my toes. I don't wanna do it here from my knees. Okay, so as I dismount to knee to belly, I stay on my toes, I'm gonna rotate here. Now I go chest down, and this is where I continue my row. I get the baseball choke. Okay, and this is another tricky, really tricky one that you can do from the bottom position, from the mount. Okay, this one from the bottom position. If I did it from the full guard, Okay? I get my choke right here, right? Now I want to bait him into thinking that he's gonna pass my guard. Because I need to create that kind of north-south position, but if he's in front of me, it's not gonna work. Right? So a lot of times I'm gonna get here and I'm gonna like give him the pass. Now see what happens? It actually puts him right into the choke. And then from here I'm just pulling down. Oh shit. So that's where you do it from the bottom position for the baseball choke. Again, we're looking at it all from the top, but again, mount, full guard, it's the same thing. It's just a mirrored version. He has a little bit of benefit to where he has gravity on his side, okay? But with a little bit of trickery, that baseball choke is extremely powerful. You'll see that a lot in competition, where the guy will get the baseball choke, the person on top doesn't recognize it. They let him pass their guard. The person doesn't defend the choke because they're so excited about passing the guard that they forget they're getting choked. And that's a lot of times they get put out cold. So you'll see the baseball choke in competition is that cross collar choke or that collar choke that puts people to sleep a lot more than some other ones, okay? So again, we're here, thumb in one side, 4 fingers in the other. Balance, dismount, right here. Constantly keeping this wrist connected to his chest. If my hands are up high, he's gonna start to loop his head out. Yeah, right? But from here, I can go cross collar choke the other way, right? So there's defense and there's follow-ups to everything. Okay, but again, when I'm getting this position here, I keep my forearms connected to his chest. Then from here, I dismount right here, and then here's where I go. Right here. And then I start my row. Okay, but you notice I'm always pinning my chest on him, and my legs are nice and wide so that all my weight is driving on top of him. It's making it harder for him to move. Okay, give me a nice solid surface to pull against. I can't get here and have my chest up high and expect the collar choke to work. I constantly am pulling him up off the ground. I don't want that. I want his chest pinned to the ground, and then from here, I can just focus on pulling those collars and creating that compression. Okay, so one more time. I gotta play with both sides. See which side you like the best. I prefer this side. Dismount, make sure you're clearing the legs so you don't get caught in half guard. Spin, 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 chest goes down, and then there's the choke.
You want to dismount on the thumb inside, right?
Dismount to the thumb inside, correct, thank you. Very good detail. Dismount to the thumb inside. If you dismount to the other side, yeah, it doesn't really work.
Okay.
If I dismount this way, yeah, it gets my wrist caught up because my wrist doesn't rotate as well like this. Okay?
Yeah, I was doing that last time.
Yeah, so rotate, dismount to the side of the thumb in.
Okay.
Okay? Any questions? Okay, let's play around with it.